Welcome back. It's time for the Imperfect. I'm Reverend John David Duke Jr., pastor of Concordia Lutheran Church in Newfane, New York, and also the pastor of St. John Lutheran Church in Youngstown, New York, as well as the Old Testament professor, which is an adjunct part-time position over at Concordia Lutheran Theological Seminary in St. Catharines, Ontario, which is a foreign country. It's the imperfect aspect. This will be Bartelt chapter 5, and I'd rather you not look at the book right away. You can look at that for reference in just a minute, and we'll go over it again. A couple of notes before we begin. We'll be translating the imperfect as the future tense, but it's not the future tense. We have to do something in order to learn, right? But it's just not the future. It is the most important of the morphology lessons here, because what you learn here and in the next chapter, major variations of the imperfect, which you should be coming to expect, surprise, surprise, will be the foundation for the morphology of how the Hebrew person expresses himself or herself. It's just the basically kind of how you would call it the root from which all the other stuff branches out. The perfect is, well, not that, but it's what you start with, because there's only 9 forms, and with the imperfect there are 10 forms. So let's get right to that. Let's get ourselves going with the paint here. Switch over to the drawing screen and begin to show you. I've got to put on my glasses. There we go. And begin to show you what you must suffer for the name of Hebrew. So, a nice big chart. I got to check my head. Oh, I got plenty of room. Let's make it a little bigger this way. Zerp. Right, and I said we got 10, so we got to make 9 of these, or something like this. So, right, there's one. Let's see if I can pull this off. This is what you pay the big money for. It's what my sponsors love more than anything. By the way, I figure if I had $1 million budget, I could really do some production work. If anybody's, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's horrible. let's try again. You could skip ahead while I make these boxes. There, I think that's the right size. About like that. Let's copy and paste that. Nope, let's not, because it won't let me. There we go. Make it a little bigger. Maybe I should have had this prep before I started, but I think we got it. There we go. Oh man, I missed just by the skin of my teeth there. There we go. Okay. Nope, still not right, but I think I can fix it. There. Okay, I like that. That's good. So it's the same kind of setup. I should put a line here. It's the same setup. You're going to have plural and singular. We'll have the singular on the left side, and we'll have the plural on the right side. So let me write that up there. Singular and plural. And then you're going to have the third persons, which are going to be the third singular masculine here, the third feminine, the second masculine, the second feminine, and the first common. And that's going to be repeated over here, except in the plurals. So third masculine with an extra dot, third feminine, second masculine, second feminine, and the first common. Okay? And it's the easiest thing in the world. This is the preformative. And by the way, I should warn you, it is a windy day here in October, here in western New York. It was very rainy yesterday, and what that means is I have terrible allergies today, so you're going to see me doing a little bit of liquidating. Liquefying. Liquidating is what happens in propionic reduction. Okay, so anyway, it's the preformative. That's the key. So the stuff's going to be going on the front end. So in the perfect, we learned the afformative, which there was an ending that came after the root. This is preformative. It's a better way to remember it than imperfect. But go ahead and learn imperfect anyway. Preformative. What are the preforms? Well, they are yod and tau, aleph and nun. Very simple. And so the third person masculines are going to be yod. I'm going to write those in green. Yes. Yod and yod. The second person, the third feminine, and all the second persons are going to be taus. Right? The first person common is going to be an aleph, and the first person common is going to be a nun. So this isn't very hard to remember. It's a nice rhythm. You know we're going to be using katal, but I'm not going to write that up yet. But basically, you can just remember this with the yod and the kaf of the katal. Yik tick 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 ek, yik tick 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 nick. See, it's a nice rhythmic thing. I'll do it for you again. Yik tick 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 ek, yik tick 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 nick. And don't worry about the vowels under there. It doesn't matter. This is the imperfective. This is the preformative for Hebrew, no matter what conjugation you're in. Now, there was a question in class the other day. What do you mean by conjugations? Good question. Here's how the verbal system in Hebrew works in a microcosm. You have, let's see, I'm trying to remember now. Yeah. This little box here. You are learning this one here. That is the call. Oops, that's not what I want. This is the call right here. And there is one here, and then these ones here. And this would be called the D stem, and this would be called the H stem. 7, 8, 9 conjugations. They'll have different points in them, different dots, but the morphology is completely the same otherwise. That's what I mean by conjugations, okay? These preforms I'm giving you will not change. Neither will the A forms. They're unchangeable. That's what makes the verbal system work. So yik tick 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 ek, yik tick 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 nick. Now let's add katal, shall we? And I'll give you a little bit more as I unload on you a little bit. We're going to draw this in black because it's just the basic root, right? And I think I'm going to try it again. Again, production staff would be helpful here. So if you have $1 million so that I can pay for really good stuff and competent people, that would be helpful. So copy and paste. All right, there we go. And paste. I find the imperfect to be quite easy to learn, but all the stuff that's going to be associated with the imperfect is difficult to keep in place. I think what that is the difference between the grammar and, well, grammar is an umbrella term. How do you speculate? Why is it hard? It's just what it's doing doesn't correspond to what we're used to. Like a student asked about the perfect aspect. Is it like in Greek, because he's doing some association here, it's a Mediterranean language like Greek. Is the perfect like Greek, where it's a condition that is now focus on the result, that there is a result of the verbal action, and now we have a status, like the one big one in John's Gospel. You will see heaven opened, the perfect, right? And it stands open, you know, that kind of thing. And no, that's not how the perfect works. It can, but it doesn't, because the verbal system doesn't work the same. And I think that the imperfect, because so many things derive from it, really highlights that. So strap in on one hand. On the other hand, don't. This is a big adventure, I think, when you intellectually, and also there's going to be some spiritual stuff going on, emotional stuff, because you're going to realize that language isn't the answer. Language is really just the door or the portal to this terrifying open world where you thought you were going to have a solid ground by learning the original language, and you're going to realize you should probably have just stuck with the NIV. Okay, just let them tell you what the answer is. But honestly, if you want to go on the big adventure, you know, hop on Voyager and let's go to outer space kind of stuff here. I love it. So there you go. Let me give you another couple of things. There are A forms with the A forms. And I think with the imperfect, now it really is of the utmost to learn preform and A form, because we're going to have suffixes on the imperfect in particular. And so you're going to have A forms with suffixes. See? So learn A form, after the form. All right, I'll just a mnemonic device here. A form, after the form. See? Okay, so let's do those. I got to do it in my own head. Okay. There is a vocalic ending in the singular side, and that is, of course, the second feminine. It's going to cause all sorts of trouble, so we're going to use orange. Now, that is the heroic iota A form, and guess what? It obeys the rule. What's the rule with the vocalic ending? I'll pause for a second. Vocalic endings, vocalic A forms always have a vocal schwa in the preceding vowel, except when the cloak and dagger hey is involved, and hollow roots try real hard, but they tell you with the flag, right? And so you're going to have a vocal schwa here. Okay. Now, on the plural side, there's a whole host of A forms. 4 to 5 of the forms have them. This one here is going to be your vocalic ending. Oops, that's the wrong place for the schwa. The preceding syllable will have a vocal schwa here. There's going to be one here in the second masculine. That's a shurik, by the way. And that's it for your vocalic endings. There are light consonantal endings as well. A forms. I should obey my own rules. Let's make it dark blue. I want to make it distinct. Distinct. The third feminine is going to have a light consonantal, which is to say one consonant and a vowel, right? And you know the rule here. What's the rule when you have a light consonantal ending? It is not heavy enough to draw the accent to the end, and so the accent stays where it was. And you're going to have a silent schwa here, in this case. You'll have another one here. And that's your afformative with the preformative aspect here, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Now, this will not change. That's why I haven't given you the call dots yet. The vowel pointing. Because this, if you can memorize this by itself, which I recommend somehow, it will never change. And the rules are very predictable. Vocalic endings preceded by a vocal schwa, light consonantal endings preceded by an accent. It won't draw the accent to the end. So now, let's give you the vowels. Let's do that in, let's see, I've got green and blue and orange already on the board, so purple. The vowels are like so. You have a closed, unaccented syllable, heroic, yik, and a holum in the second syllable, yik tol. And then you're going to have a doggish lene, closed unaccented syllable, and this is the base form, so everything's going to vary from it. So it's yiktol, tiktol, tiktol. Hold your question. Tick to li, because we already did that, right? Vocalic schwa. And then you're going to have, instead of a short I, you're going to have a short E, the segol here, ectol. Or ectol, right? Get the accent in the right place. Here, the closed unaccented syllable, yiktolu. Tick tolna. Tick tolu. Tick tolna. And then this will remain a here. Nick tol. How about that? Not so bad, is it? So it's yik tick 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 ek, yik tick 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 nick, and then you add your A forms, and you're going to have to learn some sort of vowel in order to memorize the chart, right? Yik tol, tick tol, tick tol, tick tali, ek tol, yik talu, tick tolna, tick talu, tick tolna, nick tol. And come up with some sort of rhythm. Perhaps you can have one of your children write you a song or something like that. Something to help you remember. Yiktol, tiktol, tiktol, tiktoli, tiktol, yiktalu, tiktolna, tiktalu, tiktolna, niktol. What? You have ambiguity? Why, yes, you do. You have a couple of them here, and this will help you. You have this one, looks like this one, tiktol, tiktol, right? Yep, that's sorry to say. And then you've got these two that are ambiguous. That means they're the same form for different things. How do you tell the difference? Well, you pick it up and you look between its... No, don't do that. What you do is you look at the context. I don't know that there's good news here. Yiktol, tiktol, tiktol, tiktali, ektol. Because they'll be in the third feminine singular, let's say, for example. You'll have some sort of feminine thing doing something. Like, I guess, susa, tiktol, eth evid. Eth ha-evid. The mayor killed the servant with a kick to the head. Okay? And then the other one will be tiktol eth ha'avid. Eth ha'avid. You will kill, and I forgot to put the tense in there. See, I don't believe in the tense thing anyway. You will kill the servant. Because you don't have the ha susa there. And you don't worry about that. And the same thing over in the plural. The third feminine is going to be like, shout aloud, O daughters of Zion. Right? And that will be tiktolna. And then the second feminine, actually that would have been the second feminine. Yeah, shout aloud. That would be you all shout aloud. And the second, you will shout aloud. And then the third feminine would be the mares will kill the lions. I don't know, something like that. See, and you'll see the context will be more clear than not. Like muddy water that is settling, but not just stirred up. So let's take a look at the book now. Document. So you can use it for reference. It's everything I said except better. Right, notice in that second paragraph, it should be noted that the imperfect is also used to designate customary or habitual, often indicates a modal sense, subjunctive, optative, would, should, could, all that stuff. Yeah. There you go. How do you know? You don't. You have to work really hard at it. Preformatives and some aformatives. I think I got them all right. Yik, tick, 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 ek. Yik, tick, 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 nick. Yeah, there's tick-to-lee. There's yik-to-loo, tick-tolna, tick-to-loo, tick-tolna. Yep, good so far. There's the katal. Don't see any errors here. So many ways to be wrong. Oh, minor variations. Yeah, see, he's got the minor variations thrown into this chapter because it's stuff you should be able to expect. What's going to be the problem? Gentlemen prefer blondes. Gutturals prefer A vowels. All right, so that's the easy stuff. It shouldn't be a surprise to you, and it won't throw you off. Honest. Statives. 3 there. They add an A vowel too. Don't worry about it. Third aleph roots, really a subset of third gutturals, will show the lengthening of this A vowel to comets because the aleph is in general going to quiesce. The effervescing elephant with tiny eyes and great big feet. I really enjoyed senior year high school and college. I was a Syd Barrett fan, but I wasn't one of those guys who thought that Pink Floyd ceased to be after Syd Barrett left. That's silly. I mean, you got Wish You Were Here just staring you right in the face. It's obviously Pink Floyd. Okay, first guttural roots have a composite schwa after the first root letter. Right? You might want to call this an echo vowel, maybe. Ya'avod. Why do they do that? No idea. That's going to be problematic. Problematic? One of them is political correctness problematic. That's going to cause you some trouble. That one will. Work on that. You have, I think, in your, if you have the book, and you should have bought it by now, you're going to have some charts and graphs in the back of the Hebrew section, and it's going to give you a handful of these variations. And I think avad is one of them. Ya'avod, ta'avod, ta'avdi, and so on and so forth. You will see, yeah. In considering the entire paradigm, note how the rule of schwa is applied when a vocalic suffix is ended. Remember the vocalic A form suffix, he calls it here? You're going to have that preceded by a vocal schwa. Well, when you have 2 vocal schwas doing the walking, one of them's going to do the talking as the, in this case, because it's rule of schwa B, with gutturals, it's going to be the patak, and that's the second person singular feminine, and then the third person plural and the third person plural feminine. I think I got that right, yeah. Second person, masculine, plural. Yeah, get your place on the chart here. This, like I said, high quality stuff here. I need a production staff so I can scrub that out without having to waste another hour of my life. Right, so there, watch out for that. That actually will cause a little trouble because you're looking for something, because I taught you to look for the vocal schwa in the preceding syllable and so on and so forth. Also, it doesn't look like yiktol, right? It has the deception of being sort of lots more lines and soundings than yiktol. So it's yiktol, tiktol, tiktol, tiktali, yiktol. And here you have ya'avod, ta'avod, ta'avod, ta'avdi, ya'evd, evod. I wouldn't learn the paradigm before I learned why it does what it does. Because I think if you learn why it does it, when you look at it for recognition, you'll find that you don't need to learn the paradigm. It makes sense, in other words. It's a variation that makes sense. It's not an irregularity, see? If the vowel in the second syllable is an A vowel, then the first vowel will have will have an E. Why? I thought they preferred A vowels. I don't know. So that's your other problem there. That will be more of a problem later on. A small group of first aleph will have this O vowel, and these are important. There are 5 of them. Not all first alephs, but these 5 in particular. Maybe that's all there are. And those are important because, look at the verb to say is a big exception to that. And this is a particularly difficult one to get in the old noggin because you're going to be used to yiktol. It's going to be your drill, right? Yiktol, tiktol, yiktol, right? And here you're going to have yomar. And you're going to be completely flummoxed by this because you don't know where that O vowel came from in the front end and the A vowel in the back end. It's just like, what the devil is going on here? Well, it's 5 of them. Amar, Abba, Akal, Afa, and Abad. And 3 of these are really common, and you need to know which they are. To say, to eat, and to perish. Those 3 in particular. So please take the time to learn Amar, and understanding not that it's Amar, but that it's a first aleph that quiesces and shows an O vowel in the wrong place. Okay? Let's do the verbal roots, the vocab, starting with the verbal roots. I'll pronounce it. You can pronounce after me. To eat is akal. To be is haya. Oh dear. With the lamed, it marks itself as become. So the haya will be attached to another noun. So you'll have this. Ha'avad haya lamelech. The servant became king. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. To be strong, it's a stative verb, is chazak. Chazak. To go out is yatsa. Yatsi. To find is matzah. To fall is nafal. That one's not hard. Nafal, he fell. Nafal, fall. I think it's storming outside. October's always crazy in Western New York. You have like 5 absolutely gorgeous days of sunshine and clear skies with the colors of every palette in the known universe right before your eyes all the time on your street. And if you drive into the country, it's even more bedazzling. And you kind of go unconscious with beauty, overwhelmed with it. And then it's just like wind and rain for a full day or so. It's wild that way. I'm sure it's like that somewhere, but it's a Great Lakes thing, I think. I didn't grow up here. I grew up not here. I grew up on the Gulf Coast, which is a whole different ballgame. Did I do avar yet? And try to distinguish that resh from the daleth. That's why I don't want you to roll your R's, avar, because it's a d sound. It's If you want to do it maybe in the back of your throat, maybe just don't do it. Maybe just do a nice Irish rhotic rar avar, because avad is to serve and avar is to transgress. Those don't go together. Well, maybe they do. I don't know. Your nouns: Adon, Lord or Master; Elohim, God or gods; Aish, fire, not Ish for man. That has a yod in the middle of it. Fire is Aish. Nation is Goy. There's some overlap with Am. What's the difference? There's a lot of overlap. Yahweh. That's the transliteration. I'll do this probably in the exercises because I want to go eat lunch now. Yahweh is derived from Haya, and I'll show you how that works, but you can read about it in here, in the note on the divine name, Yod, Hey, Wow, Hey. I wish that they would just transliterate it in the Bible like this. It would make a lot of things come clear, but we do it traditionally as Lord because of this thing here. I'll show you like in motion when we do the exercises. I might forget, but I'll try to remember. Lechem, bread, food. And now you know. No, you don't know how to. Lechem, I got ahead of myself by a couple of chapters, is bread or food. Give me some lechem. Come on, give me some lechem. Shame is name. What a shame you have a name. Dr. Seuss stuff works well here. Not that I'm a fan of Dr. Seuss, but there you go. All right, I'll see you with exercises next time. I'm so glad you're coming along with me.